Welcome back, guys, to the last iGeneration podcast of this season. I'm Alex.
I'm Anna.
I'm Elon.
And today we're talking about the final question. What are the future implications of this ever-changing landscape of life? Or as I like to say, what does the future look like? And I'm going to start off by saying they told us in the 50s, not that I was alive in the 50s, that we were supposed to have flying cars in 2017.
Here we are.
According to my phone, it is 2019 that we were recording this in.
Literally,
I don't see any cars flying on the road outside this window. Do you see any flying cars, Anna?
Only flying planes.
I don't even see any planes right now. What are those machines on this concrete slab?
Oh no, I think they may be cars. Insert sarcasm here.
So if we were supposed to, and then they said we were going to have self-driving cars in 2018.
We do have a couple of self-driving
That
cars.
crash.
I mean, they're still in testing. They are still in testing.
They're still in testing. It's
Or
a work in progress.
what about hoverboards? Now the only futuristic thing that has come close is the drones. That's the closest we've got.
Even then,
and we have retina scanning and stuff.
Or those skateboards that back in 2015 or something.
The ones that exploded.
No, the skateboard things.
The ones that exploded.
I don't know. I don't remember what they were called, but yeah, I think that's pretty.
I just call them the skateboards that exploded. You would charge them and they would explode on their charging stations.
I mean, yeah, but basically you drive, quote unquote, drive with your feet on a skateboard and without any manual labor.
That's technically a hoverboard. That's what we had.
No,
Oh, you mean the Segways that Mr. Bailey had?
That's the
hoverboard. Those didn't explode, and those aren't hoverboards. They're called hoverboards, which is stupid because they have wheels. Now the actual hoverboards that use magnetics to hover, those exploded.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. With that charging station, it can't explode when you let it overheat and don't watch it. You have to do it.
No, they would plug it in and leave it for 5 minutes and it would explode. There was something wrong with the battery. Anyway, yeah, we have some floating technology. Like in Japan, they have those hovering trains.
Yeah.
Not even just Japan. Doesn't Disney World have some stuff like that?
I think as well.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot. Honestly, Disney World is the future. Disney World has all of our future stuff that people are we don't want to develop it anymore. But Disney's but this was the promised future. We must preserve it in Tomorrowland and, hopefully teach the kids that, hey kids, this was what the future was supposed to be. You should work on this when you get older, when you grow up.
But we basically all turned into WALL-E, the humans in WALL-E, and we became lazy.
Not us though. We are the iGeneration. And we are going to do stuff with our life. Am I right, kids? We're going to do stuff with our lives.
I'm a lazy Gen Z person, so...
I'm lazy, but that doesn't mean I'm not doing anything. You're doing stuff with your life. You're writing.
That doesn't prevent you from doing everyday tasks.
Yeah, we do. We're lazy. We're humans. We're inherently lazy, but we all still do stuff. You write. You draw.
I'm so lazy. Shows phone.
Yes, but you do stuff.
With it. You type on it.
Yeah,
you write stories on that.
And then Alon dances. I do art and code. The point is that, we can't predict the future. Actually, we kind of can. There's one type of person that can predict the future.
What?
Sci-fi novel writers.
Yay! I love sci-fi.
Gene Roddenberry, Isaac Asimov. We're looking at you guys.
Veronica Roth, Susan Collins.
We're looking at these guys. They are the pioneers of the future. They are the ones that predicted a lot of this stuff. Isaac Asimov predicted the theory of the moon affecting the Earth in the 1950s. Before he had any of this stuff to work on.
Even then, I think science back then...
Or no, was it the 1950s? I think it was the 1950s or 60s.
Yeah, mid-20th century. Even then, science...
Even if it was the 70s. Even if he did it in the 90s. The point is that he wrote it before we even started studying it, which wasn't until the 2000s where we actually started getting actual theories up and running.
Yeah, even then. hey.
Speaking of which, kids, when you get older, the Foundation series by Isaac Asimov, great read, totally recommend it. Parents, read it. It's amazing. It's 10 out of 10 recommend.
Yeah,
and you'll see a lot of like, Isaac Asimov is the one who pioneered the idea of retina scanners, so the things that scan your eye for identification, like where you put your hand up on the pad and it scans your handprint.
Even like the iPhone.
The fingerprint, all that technology, that is originally created by Isaac Asimov in his brain. And what happens? Oh, we want to make books come to life because we are fanboys and fangirls, and we must, and fan aliens, and fan humans, fan people.
Fan genderless people.
Fan beings, how's that? Or just
Okay.
fans, we're just say fans. Covering all my bases. And we love doing that. So things like that happen. Or I'd like to point out that the touch screen was Star Trek. They had their data pads. Then what do we have now? We've got iPhones, we've got tablets, we've got all those
Computers.
fun things. We have virtual reality, and we have we can somewhat see the future. We look at books and TV shows, and we see, all right, who's gonna finally be able to invent it? Like, we look, okay, we've got Iron Man's Jarvis. Okay, who's gonna get Jarvis invented first?
Even like Wakanda.
Or we look at like
in the movie Black Panther, it was a society that was based everything on vibranium, but everything was so technology advanced from the United States, was known to be one of the most greatest cities in the world. But they have secluded themselves from the outside world and use this technology to helping with healing people and to helping people with everyday tasks in society, which has done tremendously well for them.
Or I think what some people are very much excited to do, who can break the periodic table? Because the periodic table, I know it has that little 2 bars that are on the below. Well, it actually, if you move it and it fits, and it's actually really long, but for paper saving purposes, they move it and they stick it right there. But it's technically one solid thing. Now, it's a joke among young scientists and even adult scientists. Who can find the element that doesn't fit on the periodic table, so it just has to sit there and break the periodic table? Because up until now, I think 2017 is when we finally completed the known periodic table. Oh, I was so excited. Which means Texas Department of Education, if you are listening, please update the periodic table. You are using the one from the 1980s. Please update it. Update it.
Basically, update information that you still have the mind in a Paleolithic age. Please update information to any education system, to any subject in a school environment.
In this particular case, for the purposes of learning what the periodic table is, there's no more changes that are going to be added to the official table of periodic table for quite a long time.
Until we
until we break the periodic table.
Until we move out of planet Earth and start colonizing other planets and stuff.
Or until we can expand. The thing is, what we'd have to do is we can break the periodic table, is what could happen. Or we end up just adding another row below it, is what probably would happen. But that's a complicated mess.
But back to the point, with certain things as a future implications that comes to this landscape called life, it comes with a lot to play with. It comes with technology.
It's always changing. And we can't, it's always changing. I don't know what else to say to that. It's always changing. We could wake up and someone could start the zombie apocalypse, or if you've read
Divergent, The Hunger Games.
Or let's be original here, or actually not, because someone actually already wrote a book on it that turned into a zombie movie because the Twilight series came out. You guys know what I'm talking about? I Am Legend. Let's have a vampire apocalypse.
Yeah,
I'd rather die.
Fun fact, the movie I Am Legend was zombies instead of vampires because the Twilight movies had just come out and they didn't want to look like they were copying, even though, it was also based off the book.
But continue on with the topic. It seems that it's always changing daily as a constant revolution of technology advances every single day, no matter how old we get. It's always going to be intimate in some way or form to the next improvement, to the next extreme. into
Yeah.
another place.
Yeah, I mean, the future is always changing, and we can only look towards tomorrow and finish living out today, because the only thing we can be certain about is that today is today, and we need to live it out the best as possible so that we can look forward to tomorrow. And with that, I'm Alex,
I'm Anna.
I mean, Lon.
and maybe we'll see you another time.